Stanley Morgan author. Stanley Morgan, 10 November 1929 – 24 August 2018, was an English writer and actor. He wrote fiction in the comedy and thriller genres and had more than 40 books published between 1968 and 2006. Biography. Originally an actor, Morgan had many jobs as a young man, including sewing machine salesman, debt collector and bank clerk. In 1951, Morgan emigrated to Canada, where he spent some time working in the Bank of Nova Scotia. In 1955 he emigrated again, this time to southern Rhodesia. He resumed his acting career there and was sponsored to return to London after winning a Best Actor award. Upon returning to London, Morgan featured mostly in voiceovers. My Lord Ability, the documentary he voiced for My Lord, was nominated for the Special Film BAFTA in 1970, although he did have a small role in the James Bond film Dr. No, playing the concierge in the casino who first introduces Sean Connery as James Bond. Most of his acting credits were in second feature crime shorts filmed at Merton Park Studios. Whilst between acting jobs in the late 1960s, Morgan began to write seriously, and his first novel, The Sewing Machine Man, was published in 1968. Allegedly autobiographical, the novel revolved around the character Russ Tobin, and Morgan went on to write a further 18 novels in the series. The latest of the Russ Tobin novels was published in 2005 after Morgan came out of retirement, mainly due to renewed interest in his work via the internet. Along with George Harrison and Paul McCartney, Morgan was an alumnus of the Liverpool Institute High School for Boys, which he attended between 1945 and 1946. In August 2018, Morgan's webmaster announced his death on his website. Morgan died on 24 August 2018. Russ Tobin series. The Sewing Machine Man 1968, the Hardcore Press hardback Mayflower paperback, The Debt Collector 1970, Mayflower paperback, The Courier 1971, Mayflower paperback, Come Again Courier 1972, Mayflower paperback, Tobin Takes Off 1973, Mayflower paperback, Tobin on Safari 1973, Mayflower paperback, Tobin in Paradise 1974, Mayflower paperback, Tobin in Trouble 1974, Mayflower paperback, Tobin for Hire 1975, Mayflower paperback, Tobin in Las Vegas 1975, Mayflower paperback, Tobin in Tahiti 1975, Future of Books paperback, Tobin Down Under 1976, Future of Books paperback, Russ Tobin's Bedside Guide to Smoother Seduction 1976, Star Books paperback, Here Comes Tobin 1977, Future of Books paperback, Hardtop 1977, W.H. Allen hardback, Hardtop 1977, Star Books paperback, Russ Tobin Uptight 1977, W.H. Allen hardback, Russ Tobin Uptight 1978, Star Books paperback, Russ Tobin in Hollywood 1978, W.H. Allen hardback, Russ Tobin in Hollywood 1978, Star Books paperback, Tobin Among the Stars 1979, W.H. Allen hardback, Tobin Among the Stars 1979, Star Books paperback, Tobin Goes Goofy 2005, 21st Century paperback. Flyboys series. The Flyboys 1974, Holt Davis, Mac Gibbon hardback, The Flyboys 1974, Mayflower paperback, The Flyboys in London 1975, Holt Davis, Mac Gibbon hardback, The Flyboys in London 1975, Mayflower paperback, Skyjack 1976, W.H. Allen hardback, Skyjack 1976, Star Books paperback. Michael Morgan Adventure series. Octopus Hill 1970, Mayflower paperback, Mission to Cottoman 1973, Mayflower paperback. Randy Comfort series. The Rise of Randy Comfort 1976, Future Books paperback, Randy Comfort Rise Again 1977, Star Books paperback. Gabriel Horn series. Horn is a young man who has adventures of a sexual nature with young women. This is typical of most of Morgan's books of the late 1960s to late 1970s. The Stanley Morgan FEN Club, A Blow for Gabriel Horn 1977, W.H. Allen hardback, A Blow for Gabriel Horn 1977, Star Books paperback. Albert Shifty series. Inside Albert Shifty 1977, Star Books paperback. Other novels non-comedy. Other novels non-comedy: Too Rich to Live 1979, United States of America Fawcett Gold Medal paperback, Too Rich to Live 1980, UK Hammond hardback, Too Rich to Live 1981, UK Hammond paperback, The Dark Side of Destiny 1982, Fawcett Gold Medal, Laura Fitzgerald 1983, Fawcett Gold Medal paperback, Raven 1989, Lynx Books paperback, Trance 2006, 21st Century paperback. Films. The Sleepwalkers 1959, Anneliese Gorgo 1960, Sub-Lieutenant in Submarine Control, uncredited Clue of the Twisted Candle 1960, Merton Park Studio, Sergeant Anson, The Clue of the Silver Key 1961, Merton Park Studio, Sergeant Anson, The Silent Weapon 1961, Merton Park Studio, Sergeant Dobbs Conga 1961, Merton Park Studios Insp. Lawson Partners in Crime 1961, Merton Park Studio, Sergeant Rutledge, uncredited The Square Mile Murder 1961, Merton Park Studios Detective Sergeant The Share Out 1962, Merton Park Studios Detective Sergeant Anson Hove The Dub 1962, Jim Lester Dr. No 1962, Concierge and Casino, uncredited The L-Shaped Room 1962, Waiter in Club and the Beat 1962, Policeman, uncredited Doomsday at 11 1963, Wiley Saints on a Wet Afternoon 1964, Man in Troby Night Train to Paris 1964, Plainclothesman, Troubled Waters 1964, YVD. Wilcox, The Return of Mr. Motor 1965, Inspector Jim Halliday, TV. Never Back Losers 1962, Merton Park Studio, Sergeant Anson / Detective Sergeant Anson / Sergeant Rutledge, Sir Francis Drake 1962, Lieutenant Crane 1963, The Invisible Asset 1963, Merton Park Studios, Airline Clerk Gideon's Way 1964-1966, Det Insp. Wallace / Policeman at Hospital, uncredited final appearance. Voiceovers. Someone Special 1966, Women's British Royal Naval Service Recruitment Film, Sugar as Energy 1967, British Sugar Bureau Educational Film for Schools, Vinyl Plastics in Building Design 1967, Imperial Chemical Industries documentary about the use of vinyl plastics in building. Men for Tomorrow 1968, British Army Recruitment Film looking at paperwork 1968, British Productivity Council film regarding the importance of R&M in business administration, Drawing in Metric 1969, Central Office of Information film for architects changing over to metric units within the construction industry. Mullodability 1969, a Mullod film showing the wide range of products in the field of electronics. Interviews. A comprehensive list of interviews is maintained at the official website James Bond Interviewer from Sweden with Love.